tonight, and we're going to hear to talk tonight about this fall's election. Now, I passed two ladies in the hall, Gail and Ann. Are you back in the room? Okay, they're back. It's good. So now we're going to start getting into meat. And John Schrin, where's John? John, this guy needs to go to Congress.
Yeah.
Okay? And thanks for telling us. I've been listening. I have a hole in the wall. I've been listening to everything that's going on in here. Plus, I have a few bugs in the room. So, but we have to get out to the polls to get John elected, because the last thing I want is to see Nancy Pelosi behind the president when he doesn't stand. Okay? So we'll be selling air sickness bags that evening. And all right, Lou Barletta. Lou's another one. Got to get rid of Sleeping Bob. Okay? All right? And listen, Sue Henry's here tonight. Justin Barron's. Frank Scallo's here. My former colleague in the Senate, Senator Lisa Baker. Lisa, thank you for being here. Where's Karen Bobak? Is Karen here somewhere? Where's Karen? All right. Karen, we wish you were here. You're here in spirit. And listen, finally, I want to thank Ron Ferentz, the chairman up here, the Republican Party. Ron, you're doing an outstanding job. And this crowd's a testament to what you've been doing, and there's others out there that have helped pull this together, and I want to thank you for making me feel welcome every time I come up here. So we're going to have a little fun tonight, okay? I have some prepared remarks, and then we're going to go off script, and we're going to talk about the real meat, okay? And if you don't mind, I'm going to take off my coat. Is that okay?
Yeah.
I'm going to go through my prepared remarks, but it's real simple. I'm here tonight to tell you that I'm running for governor because I'm on a mission to shake up the status quo and bring the change desperately needed in Harrisburg. And I think my background has well prepared me to accomplish that mission. Hey, listen, I'm a trash guy. I'm ready to take the trash out. You see, unlike Tom Wolfe, who went to an Ivy League college, inherited his business, and is out of touch with hardworking men and women of this Commonwealth, I have a very different story. I grew up on a farm, and my family didn't have much. I remember sitting at the kitchen table one night when I, along with my two brothers and sisters, and my mother and father, the five of us, not my father, we were all eating, I think, a pot roast, baked potatoes and maybe some vegetables. But my father was having something different. And, I was a little confused. I think I was probably 8 years old, 7 or 8, and I was a little confused by this. And I wanted to know what kind of special meal my father was having, so I asked him. Because he had taken out a blue porcelain bowl that they still have today, 50 years later. And he took saltine crackers. And he took about maybe 8 or 10 crackers and crunched them up, put them in the bowl. And then he poured coffee on top of those crackers. And I was like, Dad, what do you have in there? Because, I was like, I wanted to have what my father was having. And he said, I'm having coffee soup, and I really love it. It's my favorite. What a crock of baloney. Okay? And it boiled down to that he was having cracker soup because they probably bought a 2-pound pot roast, but they couldn't afford a 2.5-pound pot roast for the rest of the family. So my father sacrificed for my mother, my sister, my two brothers, and myself. And my parents are still alive. My father's 87, failing health. My mother's 84, had a serious stroke. I love seniors. I love my parents. But I tell you this story because growing up on a farm in a poor family, and I say that because I didn't know we were poor. Okay, but I guess that's what we were back then, okay? But it taught me a lot, not only about hard work and not quitting until the job's done. See, I grew up on a farm. My mother gave horseback riding lessons for over 50 years. As soon as I was able, I joined the ranks of the working household. And I would go to the barns in the morning and water horses while my mother made breakfast and my sister helped with dishes. And my two brothers were younger, so they were like 2 and 4. But I had chores. We had animals to feed all the time, and animals want to be fed. So you work on a time system. And so that childhood experience has gotten to be where I am today, and it's taught me a lot. And right now, I see too many Pennsylvanians scraping by, and a governor who doesn't care. We need to change that. You know, I've been touring up here in the Northeast. I've been in Susquehanna, Bradford, Schuylkill counties, looking at all the flood damage. You know, Governor Wolf's come up here. It's a photo opportunity. You know, go to New Albany, up in Bradford County, where the mayor, unfortunately, is in a power chair because he was in an auto accident 27 years ago. He and his wife, Michelle. If you could just see the devastation. The mayor, or the governor, came up and it was a PR campaign. You know, he didn't offer anything. He didn't say to anybody on his staff, I want you to take care of this, and I want you to follow up and let me know how we're making out. We need to change that. And it's not hard. Pennsylvanians are resilient people who can thrive if we get government out of their way and give them a chance to be successful. You know, government out of the way means, how about letting people take the trees out of the streams up here without permits? You know, again, great life, and I didn't complete college. I harnessed my entrepreneurial spirit to go on to start numerous successful businesses in Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania's been great for me. I've lived the American dream, and I want to provide that same type of opportunity to all Pennsylvanians. That's why this race is so critical. This is going to probably be the most important election in my lifetime and in your lifetime. Because if I don't get to the governor's office, we'll get more of the same. Lisa, you and I fought off this governor in 2015 with a $4.5 billion increase. If Governor Wolf gets reelected, he's coming back with $6 to $8 billion or more. Okay? And I'm not going to be there. We'll see more out-of-control government spending, more tax hikes. I mean, it's going to be big this time. An economy that continues to lag behind the national average, an education system that doesn't prepare our students to meet the needs of our modern workforce, and an opioid crisis that is off the charts. You know, we're #1 in the nation. #1, think about what I'm about to say. We're #1 in the nation with underreported cases of opioid deaths. That's nothing to be proud of. And Lisa, you are so passionate about this, we can do better. You see, when it comes to addressing these major issues, Governor Wolf has been missing in action. And I mean it. He's been missing in action for 3 years. He didn't sign a budget for 3 years. Do not forget that. Please do not forget he didn't sign a budget for 3 years, but this year he did. Guess why? It's re-election time. Okay? You know, he forgot that he was supposed to go to Harrisburg to fight for the people against special interests rather than cater to their every demand. This guy is so corrupt. He tells his people, you can't take a bottle of water from anybody. But he takes millions of dollars from special interest groups. Took $2.5 million from Planned Parenthood this week. And his people can't take a bottle of water? Cut me a break. The governor's been catering, and he's been rewarded in campaign contribution. And again, I talked about Planned Parenthood. I have a list of pharmaceutical companies he's taken almost $2 million from. That doesn't include the $10 million or more he's taken from the public sector unions. Yeah. Almost a little over $2 million from the PSEA. Okay? This is all about Governor Wolf getting reelected. You know what? The union bosses, there are a lot of great, listen, I'll tell you, there's a lot of good school teachers out there. They're unionized. And you know what they care about our kids? They care about your kids. They care about their education. But their union bosses, they don't care about you at all, and they don't care whether you lose your house because of high school taxes, because it's all about the union bosses. Okay? And then that's the back end of you talk about Planned Parenthood. The quid pro quo the governor engaged in when he vetoed the common sense pro-life legislation that I and Lisa co-sponsored. And listen, Planned Parenthood, again, is only the tip of the iceberg. And the governor's using these millions he's received from special interests in order to hide his record and agenda from Pennsylvania. His record. Can anybody in this room tell me one thing that Governor Wolf has accomplished in 3.5 years? Please tell me. Okay? I'll give you a hotline number. 1-800-CALL-SCOTT. He refuses to do town hall meetings. He's only doing one debate because I want to discuss the issues in front of the people of Pennsylvania so that you get to see the differences between Tom Wolf and I, and trust me, it's like night and day. Just recently he announced he will only participate in one debate. Remember that? Okay? And listen, I have a great running mate, Jeff Bartos. Yeah. Charlotte here, great guy. I've done 12 town hall meetings. Jeff has been, I think, at 10 or 11 with me. He's great. You know what? And I look over, there's times that a question comes out, and Jeff said, I'd like to respond to that. And he does, and he's articulate. And you know what? I am so proud of Jeff Bartos. To be on the stage with Jeff Bartos is an incredible honor for me. I mean that. And that's why he is a great running man. I want you to earn more, and I'm going to help you earn more, but I want you to keep more of what you earn. Getting enough, folks, trust me. And the first way we're going to do it is we're going to do zero-based budget. That scares the living crap out of everybody, and people are believing and saying, he can't do that. Well, wait till I get there.
Yes, we can.
We need to balance our checkbook, and we need to get spending under control so that we don't have to keep coming back to taxpayers year after year to foot the bill for Harrisburg's incompetence. Yeah. Period. The next way, this is my platform, by protecting your paycheck. And I'm here tonight, and I'm dead serious about this. And I want people of Pennsylvania to pay attention. Whether you're Democrats or independents, if you're not registered to vote, it really doesn't matter because you're not registered to vote. But if you have school taxes on your home and you are belly aching, you want your school taxes eliminated, I suggest you go out and get registered to vote by October 3rd. But here's my pledge. This is out. We've been hearing this for 20 years. Dear fellow Pennsylvania, and I'm serious when I say this, dear fellow Pennsylvania, if you vote for me on Tuesday, November 6th, and I become governor of Pennsylvania, I will eliminate the school taxes on your home. People are asking me how, listen, I have a plan to do this. I'm going to ask you to have confidence in me. I'm not standing up here just giving you some lip service story or something that's fuzzy, warm and fuzzy to get me reelected. I'm going to get it done. Trust me when I tell you this. Remember when Governor Wolf ran in 2014? He was going around the state in his little honky Jeep, okay? You know? Does anybody remember him talking about property tax relief? Does anybody remember that? Well, he did. And so how's that working out for everybody? Okay? You know, I'm sick and tired of hearing about seniors being forced out of their homes due to high school taxes, and I'm going to fix that. You know, I got an email this morning from a county commissioner down in Monroe County. Today they had a tax sale. These are properties that were sold because taxes weren't paid. Okay? So I'm telling you folks, you know, Tom Wolf's running around the state telling everybody, oh, I'm going to do all these voodoo things to seniors. I'm going to tax your retirement income. I'm going to come take all the jewelry out of your house. I'm going to take your lawnmower. Folks, it's all baloney. It's propaganda. This is what you need to focus on. Okay? We need to work on our economy. We need to improve our economy. There is just a boom in other states. Texas is booming off the charts. South Carolina, North Carolina, Mississippi, good old Mississippi. Okay? There are other states that are doing well. We are sucking wind in Pennsylvania. You want to know why? Because we're not business friendly. We have an unemployment rate that's higher than the national average. We're ranked 5th worst state to start a business. In every economic category imaginable, we're at the bottom. Okay? We have a skilled labor crisis. Business owners can't find people, and if you can't find people, and you can't find drivers to drive trucks that are sitting in the parking lots of your trucking company, and you have mortgage payments, and you're paying insurance on those trucks, and you don't generate revenue, that's when you hit the economic growth wall. Okay? But Tom Wolf's plan for Pennsylvania, for economic growth, is higher taxes, more regulations. I'm going to do it a lot differently. There are 153,661 regulations in Pennsylvania. I think there's enough. Okay? 208 or 9 regulations on the design, use, and operation of a ladder. Cut me a break, okay? And listen, if you talk to any business owner, they will tell you their #1 impediment to growth is excessive government regulation, which is why I'm going to roll back regulations that are choking businesses. I believe in good regulations, but we don't need duplicating regulations. I guarantee you there are regulations buried in those 153,661 regulations that tell you how to use a buggy whip. We need to get rid of them, okay? And I'm going to roll those back. I'm going to lower taxes on our employers. We have one of the highest corporate net income taxes. Now, there are a lot of businesses that are sub-S corporations, but there are a lot of corporations. You know, you have Procter & Gamble over here. That's a public company. That's a C corporation. They pay high taxes. Can you imagine if we were able to help them lower their taxes? They would have more money for wages and benefits to reinvest in their business. And so, and I'm telling you, when you lower taxes, it flows down. Better wages. Remember what I said. I want you to earn more. And I'm going to harness our great natural resources, invest in the infrastructure. We need to utilize them. We have this great natural resource. It's called natural gas. Marcellus, Utica. Okay? You know, what's interesting? We don't have any pipelines that run our gas north to the New England. We could get probably 2 and 3 times the price of gas if we were able to ship it up there. But because of this past winter, when it got real cold, Google this. Google Russian LNG tankers, Boston. 2 of the largest, most massive tankers I've ever seen in my life came into Boston Harbor with Russian gas to supply the Northeast because we couldn't get our gas to the north. Now, how far is the Susquehanna River from here? It's not overly far, is it? No. But you know what? We can't send our gas up to the Northeast, but guess what they can send to us? Do you know on August 17th, they went to New York, discharged 35 millions of raw sewage. Poop, folks. What you put in your toilet, what you flush down the toilet, they dumped 35 million gallons of raw sewage into the Susquehanna. And it flowed down and went down to the Chesapeake Bay. It passed right by here. We can't send them our gas. We're going to change that. We're going to focus on education. We're going to create a growing economy in Pennsylvania because I have a plan to educate our workforce. We wait far too long to talk to our students. We talk to them in their 10th, 11th grade, 10th, 11th, and 12th grade. Oh, Johnny and Sally, you need to go to college. We need to be talking to them earlier. There are students that are not college material. You're looking at a guy, and there's a lot of them out there. Okay? You know, Governor Wolf's education policies are nothing more than the same old approaches that require record tax increases. But I have an education plan that is innovative. It will make record investments in our students and teachers without raising taxes. I unveiled a plan 2 weeks ago to put $1 billion of new dollars into the schools, which will be divided up in 3 segments. $700 million will go through the 2016 funding formula, okay? And $300 million will be split up in 2 block grants of $150 million each, okay? And that first block grant will be available for districts to apply for additional money if they have documentation and they have documentable success of STEM programs and vocational programs in their schools. The final 150, again, got to remember now, 700 is going through the funding formula. The other 300, they have to document, and it's going to be accountability for this money. The final 150 is going to be a block grant program called Teach to the Top. And this is money that will be available for districts to apply for this funding to pay teachers who are high performances, maybe bonuses, okay? And reward those people. That's what we do in the private sector. Listen, the quarterback on the football team makes more than the guy carrying the water, okay? We need to be able to Reward top performers, people that go over and above in the teaching system. Now, people are saying, well, you're gonna roll back the school taxes. You're gonna put $1 billion in. Well, where are you finding all this money? Well, how about if we sell the liquor stores that lose $300 million a year for starters? How about we get this pension crisis under control? So, remember I said zero-based budgeting. We're going to balance our checkbook, okay? And also, let's go into the really big, this is the crisis. As governor, I'm actually going to lead on the opioid crisis instead of just pretending to fix the problem with do-nothing PR campaigns like Governor Wolf has come up with, declaring a state of emergency. What's that all about? I mean, is that like helping? It's not helped at all. Earlier today at a York Rotary Club, I rolled out a plan. And we are going to focus on this problem. We are approaching 5,000 Pennsylvanians that are going to die probably this year. The numbers are going up. Remember I said that we're #1 in the nation with unreported deaths. You know, in 2016, Pennsylvania spent $32 million on admissions costs for opioid overdoses, and this is trackable through the Department of Health and Human Services. You know, I'd much rather keep people out of emergency rooms and quit spending that money, and we're going to push for another approach. As governor, I'll implement a pay for success program that rewards for treatment and rehab facilities that are keeping patients out of the emergency room. There is a, I may get this wrong, but I was in Washington County back in August, and I toured a facility called Mission House. They have an 88% succession rate for helping people with drug addictions and alcohol addictions. And those are the kind of people that we're going to help in facilities. But, you know, unlike Governor Wolf, who's in the pocket of those that have long gone unaccountable for you know, continuing to help us and fuel this crisis, you know, I'm going to draw a hard line against them. You know, last year, Governor Wolf took $1 million from a PAC called Fairness PA. And that is a PAC that is controlled by pharmacies. And those pharmacies are owned by a law firm in Philadelphia that does workers' comp employee representation. And that PAC is also, those pharmacies are also owned by a group of doctors that treat workers with workers' comp injuries. And Governor Wolf took $1 million last year and $200,000 this year from that PAC. Okay? And then Senator White and Senator Baker and I all voted for Senate Bill 936. We sent it to the House, they passed the Senate to the governor's desk, and he vetoed it. And it was, without getting in the weeds, it would have given us alternative methods and you know, different ways to treat injuries without prescribing more opioids. But what did he do? He vetoed it because he received $1.2 million from this drug pharmacy PAC. Governor Wolf is just as bad as the drug dealers. I'm sorry. Okay? Ask any parent. If I told a parent who lost their son or daughter that story, they would be ready to like hunt this governor down. Okay? Because I'll tell you, this crisis is inflicting devastation and heartbreak on families all across this state. And by golly, we better start recapturing some of the public funds we've had to spend tackling this on a state and local level. You know, if the Attorney General fails to take action, I will. As governor, I will direct the General Counsel to file a lawsuit on behalf of the taxpayers. You know, if you want a governor who enables those who make money killing our kids, make money taking contributions of 1.2, then please re-elect Tom Wolf, because I'm not your guy. If you want a governor who will stand up to the pharmaceutical companies and the people that are pushing these drugs, then get me to the governor's office. You know, there's so many more things we need to work together. We need to work together to make sure our veterans get care and attention they deserve. We need to think that we, in this country, we have veterans that are homeless. That's disgusting. Disgusting. And we're going to do something about it. And seniors, you know, we have an aging population. And my parents have worked hard, and they deserve to live their life in dignity. They deserve access to health care. They need access to prescription drugs. And that is nothing that we should fall short of, okay? And by the way, Governor Wolf's next commercial, Wagner's he's gonna take mom in her wheelchair and run her down a cliff, and he's gonna throw you out of your homes. Okay? And so, seniors have a very special place, and veterans. But we need to also work together to secure our schools. Okay? School safety. And we need to work together to ban sanctuary cities and make our All right, PJ, it's time. We're really going to get them fired up, okay? So, you know, I'm going to go off script a little bit, and I'm going to be respectful. But you know what? I'm getting a little concerned right now. I'm going around Pennsylvania, and I'm like smelling and seeing a little complacency, okay? And I'm hearing this. People are saying, "Do you think you could beat Governor Wolf? You know, how are you going to win?" I want a write-in campaign, folks. I'm doing 500. This is event 571. I'm not up here to be politically correct. I'm on a mission. Okay? I'm going to read a story someone sent to me. Now listen, every time I turn on the TV, I hear Donald Trump this, Donald Trump did that. You know what? Our economy is booming. Stock market's up. Remains of men and women who served in Korea, who came back to this country. I'm very proud of that. But I have to read this story because people are saying, well, you're like Trump. Well, Donald Trump and I are very different. Okay, he came from New York City, grew up in a real estate family, but in many ways, he and I, we know there's a swamp. He knew there's a swamp in D.C. There's a swamp in Harrisburg. But I have this story came around, and I'm going to tone it down a little bit, but it's a great story. It's the raccoon story. Okay, and this is, I'm reading it. It's an interesting perspective. Like many citizens, I've wondered and tried hard to understand why Trump has such a remarkable following. It's obviously why he probably should not. Then a friend sent me this raccoon story. It makes no difference about your political leanings. This is just a good explanation of why, or it's as good as any I can come up with. If you really want to know how the majority of people feel, and this applies to both Democrats and Republicans, read below, it says it all. Here's the raccoon story. You've been on vacation for weeks. You come home, your basement is infested with raccoons. Hundreds of rabid, messy, mean raccoons have overtaken your basement. You want them gone immediately. You call the city. You call 4 different exterminators, but nobody can handle the job. But there's this one guy, and he guarantees to get rid of them, so you hire him. You don't care if the guy smells, and I'm not referring to Donald Trump here, but I'm referring to the raccoon guy, okay? You don't care if the guy smells. You don't care if the guy swears. And you don't care if he drinks a lot. And you don't care how many times he's been married. You don't care if he has a plumber's crack. You simply want the raccoons gone. You want your problem fixed. He's the guy, he's the best, period. That's the raccoon guy. Here's why we want Trump. Yeah, he's got faults. I'm not going to read exactly what's on here, but we really don't care. This country is a mess because politicians suck. The Democrats and Republicans can be two-faced and gutless. And we got lots of problems here. We want it all fixed. We don't care that Trump is crude. We don't care that he insults people. And we don't care that he's changed positions. We don't care how many times he's been married. We don't care that he fights with Megyn Kelly or Rosie O'Donnell. We don't care that he doesn't know the name of some Muslim terrorist. This country is weak, bankrupt. Our enemies are making fun of us. We are being invaded. Okay? We are becoming a nation of victims. Tom, Ricardo, Azad is a special group with special rights to a point where we don't even recognize the country we were born with and raised in. We just want it fixed. And Trump is the only guy who seems to understand what the people want. We're sick of politicians. sick of the Democrat Party, sick of the Republican Party, and sick of a lot of other things. We just want this thing fixed. Trump may not be a saint. He doesn't have any lobbyist money holding him. He doesn't have political correctness restraining him. And all that you know is he has been very successful, a good negotiator. He's built a lot of things. He's also not a politician, and he's not a cowardly politician.
That's right.
And he says he'll fix it. And we believe him because he's too much of an egotist to be proven wrong or looked at. You know what? In this business, I think, I don't know if it's ego. I don't like to think that I have an ego. You got to have thick skin in this business, okay? And I think he's got thick skin, okay? And we can talk about other things and everything. The bottom line is we just want the raccoons going now. We want them out of the house now. So that's the raccoons. That's all we're doing. The bottom line is we want things done, okay? But here's my concern, and I have a lot of concerns right now. But my biggest concern is I'm beginning to see complacency. And I'm beginning to, people are believing, there's a guy down in Lancaster, his name is Terry Madonna. He has a poll, I'm down 14 points. He's so full of crap, okay? A local poll was done, okay, recently, and I was down 3 points. But remember, I said I did 571 events, including tonight. I've been on the street, I'm in truck stops, I'm in diners, I'm in plants, I was at Pride Mobility, okay? I was out at Blair Companies on Monday. I'm all over. Everywhere I'm talking to the people who make Pennsylvania run. The guy on the 22nd floor of an office building in Philadelphia or Pittsburgh or Ashburn, they don't really know what's going on the ground. So, you know, what concerns me is I hear about this blue wave. This blue wave isn't coming. Okay? And I know tonight, and I'm going to ask, I know that there are some Democrats here tonight, and if you are here and you're a Democrat, thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. Because the school taxes I'm talking about, that affects everybody. This heroin opioid crisis. You know, when the parents are in the emergency room being told by the coroner that their son or daughter passed away because of a drug overdose or another family member, that doesn't know a party. But if there are Democrats here tonight, thank you for being here. But an amazing thing is happening as I go around the state. More conservative Democrats are coming out. There's the Turning Point movement, Charlie Kirk and Candace Owens. You listen to them on TV, they're on Fox. They make a lot of sense. And there's the walk-away movement. But what concerns me is that our complacency. We have several million Republicans that are registered in the state of Pennsylvania. We need to get every single Republican out to vote, okay? Because I'm going to tell you right now, if Tom Wolf gets reelected, you take this to the bank, I'm telling you, it's $6 to $8 billion coming down the pipe, okay? And maybe some of you, and I'm going to talk about this because I have a right to talk about this. We have the highest gas tax in the nation. Why do I have a right to talk about that? Because I run 250 trucks every single day. 99.1 cents of every gallon of diesel fuel is for taxes. Now I build that into my prices. And you know what? I'm going to say, don't throw tomatoes at me when I say this. I'm okay with that, as long as we have great roads, but our roads suck. We have more potholes, more traffic, more bad drivers. Whose fault is that? That would be Governor Wolf, okay? Because Governor Wolf has done nothing about it. And all we're doing is fixing potholes. How about if we stop fixing potholes and start repaving our roads? Okay? And every time Terry Madonna, who's a total, he's like a misfit guy at Franklin Marshall that keeps coming up with these goofy polls. Every time he tells me that I'm down 14 points, I am more and more determined every day to beat Governor Wolf. That's right. This is the bottom line. Folks, I have a great career. I'm in the waste business. I have several companies. I started those companies. I love those companies. I love the people that I work with, and I've been away from those companies. I miss them a lot. And my wife, Tracy, I know you're watching. You know, I don't see Tracy a lot because I'm on the road 6.5 days a week. I'm Wolf. Okay? And do me a favor and let me go back to my good life. But if you want somebody who's going to fight for you, vote for me. Get rid of this guy who is going to lie to you for the next 8 weeks that I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this to you. This is your chance to get rid of this guy. It's about time. I've got a great life, great career, beautiful wife. I'm going to be 63 years old next week on Friday the 21st. Send me a card. Okay? Better yet, send me a campaign contribution. Okay? Send me your credit card number. We'll put it on auto. Okay? But I'm going to tell you right now that I expect to be sworn in on January 20th. I will be 63 years old. Trust me when I tell you this. I'm not going to be sworn in and look back 8 years from now and not have accomplished anything. I'll be 71 years old. I will have wasted 8 years of Tracy's life and my life because we didn't get anything done, and that is not going to happen. You get me to the governor's office.